Hello, what's the deal? It's Big Dog, you hear me? Kevin Cooley. From Kanye West to Violent Rampage to Serious Scandals, I'm gonna be here keeping you guys connected. So do me a favor and buckle up and bang and like that subscribe button so I can take you along for this ride. My thoughts. Time and time again, it's proven that it's okay to kill black people. If you're black and you have a mental illness in America, your life can be unjustifiably took from you. From violent military trained thugs whose occupations was to kill. I see white homeless people acting a damn fool every day, but that doesn't give me the right to take their life away because they're off their medications. Normal people in today's society minds their business. We understand if someone is acting a fool on the bus, don't sit by them, give them their space. I don't care how much trash he was throwing or how much shit he was talking, it doesn't justify 3 grown white males pinning one man down, choking him for 3 straight minutes with the illegal chokehold causing his death. These violent vigilantes need to be taken off the streets before he kills someone else again. Let me know in the comment section if you guys think this was a racially motivated attack. And don't forget, bang that like and subscribe button so we can get up to 100 followers or subscribers. Let's go. News. The death of a New York City subway rider who was placed in a chokehold by another passenger on Monday was ruled a homicide. The city medical examiner confirmed on Wednesday evening the man who died, Jordan Neely, was homeless and had been screaming at passengers when the other riders wrapped their arms around Mr. Neely's neck and head and held him for several minutes until he went limp. Mr. Neely died from compressions to his neck as a result of a chokehold, according to Julie Bolcer, a spokeswoman for the medical examiner. This investigation is being handled by senior experienced prosecutor and will provide an update when there is additional public information to share. He added on Monday, a man who was riding in the same subway car went up to Mr. Neely, a 30-year-old Michael Jackson impersonator who was yelling that he was hungry and ready to die. The 24-year-old man who was choked, Mr. Neely, has not been identified. The episode filmed on nearly 4-minute video that showed other riders helping to pin down Mr. Neely while others looked on, as led to police investigation and served advocates for the homeless city officials and others to call for an arrest. Gov. Katie said she needed to review the incident more closely but called the man's death troubling. It was deeply disturbing, she told reporters. The incident comes as the city grapples with how to reduce both crime and the number of people with mental illness living on the streets, while also representing the rights of most vulnerable residents. The two issues have become the twins' focus on Major Eric Adams, who has sent more police and patrol trains stations into sweep homeless encampments, even as he has supported policies that offer a gentler approach to people who are homeless and mentally ill. Any criminal case could come down to whether the man who placed the rider in a chokehold was justified in using force, according to the legal specialist. Under New York law, a person may use physical force on another person if they have reasonable belief that this is necessary to defend themselves or others. But a person can only use deadly physical force if they have reason to believe that an attacker is doing or about to do the same. The police and prosecutors must determine what the intentions of the riders were when he grabbed Mr. Neely, if the rider felt physically threatened, and if the other passengers felt that they had a reason to fear for their safety, said Kern Friedman. a former prosecutor in the Manhattan District Attorney Office. The DA's office is going to do a painstaking investigation where they are going to interview every witness and look at the video frame by frame. The police who questioned the 24-year-old man and let him go on Monday night said that they were investigating the death. A spokesman from the Manhattan District Attorney said that they were also investigating an official briefed on the investigation confirmed Mr. Neely identified, although the police have yet not to do so. Mayor Eric Adams called the death tragic and said there's a lot we don't know about what happened here. He added, however, we do know that there were serious mental health issues in play here, which is why our administration have made record investments in providing care to those who need it and getting people off the streets and the subways and out of the dangerous situations. There were signs that debates about the outcome had already begun on CNN. The mayor urged caution, rebutting a statement by Representative Alondria. Mr. Neely had been murdered. He added, I don't think that very reasonable at this time where we're still investigating the situation. Let's let the DA conduct the investigation with the law enforcement officials. Homeless advocates stood behind the victim. There were no empathy on the train car, said Karma Walker, an organizing and outreach specialist at the Urban Justice Center who works with people who are homeless. There should be accountability for the death of Mr. Neely, he said. He did not need to, nor did he deserve to die in this manner that he did. Mr. Willie said, that's what really scares me, and that's what really breaks my heart. Witnesses said that Mr. Neely was acting in a hostile and irate manner towards other passengers on the train, according to the police. Juan Albert Valdez, a freelance journalist who was riding on the train and who shot the video, said the victim was yelling about being hungry and thirsty. I don't mind going to jail and getting life in prison, Mr. Valdez recalled him saying, I'm ready to die. That kind of language might have led other passengers to believe that Mr. Neely was going to do something violent, said Todd Spodik, a criminal defense lawyer. I imagine that the collective feeling on the train was that someone was helping. Oh, that something was happening, sorry. He said, the case required questions about how people respond to action of the poor, the unhoused, and most especially those perceiving and suffering from mental illness, said Christopher Fee, an English professor at Gettysburg College who teaches about homelessness. These bystanders may have felt threatened by the victim, but they were not, in fact, attacked by him. He said still they watched him die. Life-leading political caused the death of Mr. Neely, who was black, a lynching by the other writers who appeared to be white. Mr. Adams, the Senate Council Speaker, said in a statement that the legal statements initial response to Mr. Neely killing was disturbing and put on display for the world the double standards that black people and other people of color continue to face, adding, the percentage of black people have long been interpreted through a distorted, racialized lens that aim to justify violence against us. Mr. Valdez said it does not appear as if Mr. Neely was suffocating, but after learning he died, he became troubled by what he had seen on the train. The reactions of bystanders reflects what can happen to many when they witness a crisis, said Lee, a dog shed cook, assistant professor whose social work at Juanita College. They were experiencing various levels of flight, flight, or freeze. She said, adding, had someone simply offered the homeless man a bottle of water or a snack, he might have been able to calm down, re-engage his rational brain, and would still be alive today. Workers from the Borough Residents Committee, which does homeless outreach in the subway, had known Mr. Neely since 2017. According to a person familiar with his history with social services, a team spotted him on the subway as recent as March 22nd. He appeared to be struggling with both mental illness and substance disorder. According to his records, at one point he lived at a safe haven shelter, which has more privacy and fewer restrictions than other shelters. Until recent years, the subway was where Mr. Neely had felt happy and free to perform as a dancer, said his friend Moses Harper, an artist who met Mr. Neely in 2009 when he was 16 years old. Mr. Neely would dress up as Michael Jackson during his Thriller stage. And ride the train, moonwalking in front of commuters. Mr. Neely and Mr. Harper, who had impersonated Mr. Michael Jackson, bonded over being street artists. Mr. Harper said she lost touch with Mr. Neely until she saw him again a cold day in 2016, walking through the subway cars with his head down. The two left the station and walked several blocks together talking. She gave him her shirt, some food, and told him where she lived. Mr. Harper said she urged him to come find her when he was ready to get help. He said, I'm going to get there. He said, I'm going to get it together, she said, and that's the last time I saw him. Mr. Thomas, 30, who lived in Jamaica, Queens, said she first saw Mr. Neely about 2 weeks ago at around 1 a.m. after she boarded an F train in Lower Manhattan. He was very upset at the time, and most of us just looked at him. Mr. Thomas recalled, he said he needed help and kept repeating the words, food, shelter, I need a job. Mr. Thompson saw him again a week later, about at 8 p.m. when she and her 8-year-old son were on a Manhattan-bound F train. She said she gave him some money and he thanked her for 5 minutes. Mr. Neely seemed tired, Mr. Thomas said, and told her he was embarrassed that he had not showered. I could tell he was at wit's end. You know, she said he didn't look as if he wanted to beg anymore. He looked mad that he even had to do that. In conclusion, Mr. Neely fell in on hard times. He was down and out, but that doesn't give anybody the right to take this young man's life away. There are some people in this world that truly hate black people, let alone homeless black people. And these mindless thugs wait around looking for perfect opportunity to inflict personal injury or even death on people who look like me and you. You would think after killing a person, you would be making your bed in some cold county jail thinking about how you fucked your life up. But I guess if you have the reflection for the protection, it's all good. To the victim, you're with God now. Rest easy, my brother. Until then, get your life right, follow Christ, and quit the dissing. It's your man and not your boy, Kevin Cooley. This is a moment.